Hey everybody, this is James Pelton. I am back from Dubai, back into my office, excited to be home, have all my computers the way that I like them, back to AMAs and having guests on. So it's good to be back. What I need from you guys as we get started, we have Professor Keith here today, going to talk about some TA, going to talk about his community. Actually, we were just talking. We really don't have a plan for this live. We were just going to bring Keith on, talk through some TA. I want to talk a little bit about DAG personally. And then we want to talk about his 786 Unlimited community that he has there, what there is to offer there. And we have kind of a special deal for people that might want to take advantage of that. So if you're in the audience, first thing we need from you is to hit the like button. Totally free. No reason not to do it. If you don't do it, I might question if you're a good person or not. Just kidding. You don't have to hit like, but please hit like. It does help us out. And then if you have things you want to talk about, coins you want to bring up and look at the TA for, if you want to hear my or Keith's opinion on certain things, let us know. We'd love to let you guys kind of direct the conversation as you see fit. So, Keith, it's been a while since I've had you on my channel. I think some of my audience probably knows you, but some probably don't. Can you just give us a quick introduction of yourself and a little bit of your background?
Absolutely. If I look sort of distracted, the dog just come laid under my feet, and this is the first time she's done this in months. So I was not expecting it. I was expecting her to lay in there. Anyway, I'm Keith. Some people call me Professor Keith. That was a joke that's just kind of ran with. I'm not really a professor. I'm just a guy. I'm nobody particularly special. I'm only good at a couple things, right? I did industrial HVAC for almost 20 years. So if you ask me to fix something that has to do with an air conditioner or heat or ventilation, I got you, no problem, right? I learned that over many years, almost 2 decades. So I transitioned from that into investing a few years back, and then I've gone into investing full time now. No more doing HVAC, and I don't want to ever go back to that. So it's too hard on my body. This is what I do full time. It's all data based. A lot of people, I think, misinterpret what I am. Some people call me a trader. I think that's you could call it unfair, but there's no such thing as unfair. It is what it is. I don't really think I'm a trader. I just do technical analysis, and if a chart tells me to sell, I'm going to sell it. If a chart says buy it and hang on to it, hey, guess what? I'm going to be the biggest fan of that whatever I bought while I'm in it. So, people say, oh, he's a trader. He doesn't he doesn't understand the long haul. That's completely incorrect. Everything I do starts with the long haul, and then I work my way down from there. Right. I want everybody watching to make generational wealth. Right. I don't want anyone to make a couple $100. I want you to make enough money so that you don't have to do whatever it is you're doing anymore, and just unless you just really love doing it. Right. I realize there's a ton of trades people watching, a ton of 9-to-5ers or 12-hour-a-dayers like I used to be. Man, that sucks. And I don't want you to have to work for anyone anymore. I want you to be your own person, be your own boss. That's what I am now. And it's incredibly different than I thought it would be, right? But using technical analysis lets us see when the time to stop, when the time to start, when the time the music's slowing down, when the music's really, really loud. And we use the charts to kind of do that. That's a basis of what I do.
Okay, love it. And I love everything you said resonated with the kind of similar missions to what I have. Again, I did not like having a 9 to 5. I felt like I couldn't spend time with my family. I couldn't spend time traveling. And so I just wanted to get out of that. And again, once you get out of that, you kind of look back at people who are still in their 9 to 5 and you say, hey, if you want out, I want to help you on that journey. And that's kind of what motivates a lot of what I do as well. So we're united on that.
It's a good thing that you brought that up about the kids. So I have 2 that stay here all the time, but we have up to 5 at any one given time. And that's a long story, and I won't super get into it. One of my neighbors has a medical problem, and a lot of time they spend in the hospital. So we take care of the kids when they're gone. And when he's gone, I'm it. So I missed a lot of stuff being gone 12 hours a day. I missed every school program, every PTA, every meeting, every after school activity. I was so hard for me to, like I coached Little League, right? So hard for me to get to the practices. Yeah. It's what everybody does, and it's become the normal. And I'm not okay with that. I don't think it has to be that way.
Yep, totally agree. So, we got some people in the audience. Adam says, I hit like, so I must be a good person. Yes, you are, Adam. Congratulations. Soda says, nice to see you guys together again. Greg says, with HVAC knowledge, he will get the hots and cold in crypto. So maybe some truth
Zing.
there. Maybe some truth there. So, by the way, in the audience, if there's certain coins you want us to take a look at, feel free. My biggest questions first, do you want to just kind of start with Bitcoin? Where do you think,
Sure.
where do you see the markets going? What do you see on the charts? Again, the only TA skills I have are things that you've talked about on my channel. That's all I know.
The good thing is what I talked about with you is good enough for 95% of people. If you can simply identify the trend and know that we are going up, or know that the music has started to slow and the ship is going down and it's time to abandon ship, if you can just know those couple things, everything else will usually work itself out. So for Bitcoin, we didn't really break that downtrend until mid-January. All right. I know everyone thought, oh gosh, you didn't buy the absolute bottom, Keith. No, I didn't. It wasn't safe, in my opinion, to buy when the thing's still falling, when the knife is still falling off the countertop. I'm not going to jump in and hurry up and buy something just because there's a little bit more meat on the bone. I don't think that's worth it, especially after one solid year of getting your soul crushed, right? Do you really want to hurry up and jump in the fire? No, I don't think that's the smart thing to do at all. So I waited until I got a good buy. And when the chart came back and retraced and touched that big downtrend that it broke and started an uptrend, well, I got in. I bought in at 20,000 even, right? And that was after it went up to like 22 or whatever. Then it came back down to 20. That's when I bought it, right at that bounce. From there, I rode it up to, I sold at two different levels, 30,000 and 31,000. And it went up just a little bit more after that. But then I abandoned ship and it started to pull back since then. It went up and down, a little bit here, a little bit there, whatever. And it's still kind of floating around trying to figure out what it wants to do right now. It hit 31 and I said 30 to 35. I feel like that's a little bit too broad, right? So, well, you just guessed. That's what people will say, right? We were able to see these targets coming a long way out. We were talking about these targets back in October, all right, before anything ever failed, because we can kind of see it on the chart. One day, the chart's going to come back to this price, and we know that because the music has started to get louder, right? So as we've gotten to 30,000 and kind of faded, 30,000 is a nice round, even psychological number. And those are very important. We didn't break and hold. We only stayed over it for a day or two. And that's not good enough for a long-term trend. You need to have that over that price for many days. A week would be excellent. Didn't do it. Went back up and hit it again. Failed. Didn't do it. So really, until I see it break and hold over 30,000 for a solid week, then I can say, okay, yeah, it looks like we're heading to 35 to 38. But until then, it's going to be tough. I really still think around June or July, we may see a bit of a peak here, and that could run out into August, but I doubt it. There's obviously some economical factors that go along. So here's for the people who say, well, he doesn't care about anything but TA. Well, that's not totally true, right? We can't control what the government does, so I tend not to worry about it. But if they decide to cut rates, listen, there's not a person on earth that's not going to think that's more bullish, because you're going to have money going into risk assets, coming out of safe assets. They're going to put them in risky things because rates are getting cut. It's time to spend, right? That's just the way it works. The debt ceiling talk stuff is interesting. I'm not really sure what to make of that, because I don't trust a single politician on earth, and I live next door to one. And I'll tell him that to his face, right? He knows that. So, whatever, he's a state senator. He lives right next door to me. But I can't, when it comes to politics, I don't trust anything you say. We can talk about sports or whatever, but
yeah,
I just can't get down with the politicians. So
hey, I understand that. I totally get that. We got one request from the audience. So maybe if you want to pull up, RNDR has kind of been on its hair a little bit. Render, yeah. So I don't know if you've looked at that chart already, or if you want to pull it up and kind of show us just some initial thoughts on what you see there.
Right. Let me see. Share screen and share. I guess I got it share now. You have to work it out on your end. There we go.
You got it.
All right, sweet. So I'll erase these Fibonacci lines for a moment. Fibonacci lines are a little bit more advanced TA, but that's not super important for what we're going to look at here. Render broke its big downtrend way back in the beginning of January, and it's honestly been one of the higher performing assets of all crypto, which is amazing to say, because I did a video on this like in September or October, but I didn't think it would go this fast, right? I said these levels would happen, which is nuts. But I said that back in October. I didn't think it was going to happen until 2024. Anyway, you can clearly see an uptrend. As long as this uptrend maintains, we're good. And just a couple days ago, it bounced off this trend line again. Music still playing, hasn't really faded out too much at all. So as long as the music keeps playing, we keep riding up. I've got 3 levels marked here. I talked about this last on a live stream. 275, $3 flat. That's going to be a hard barrier to break. And if we can break and hold $3, which is important because that's another nice round number, then I see 380 for the summer. And these would end off roughly in the middle of June, end of June, around July area. We can see this because of fib time cycles and Fibonacci retracement. It creates what we call a GAN box, and that's not super important to everybody on here, but I can see that this isn't done. It may fade back just a little bit. It's tried to close above the recent high in April, and it's right on the edge of being able to do it and not do it. It's like right there. So it looks like it wants to keep going here. It isn't quite overbought just yet. If I look at some pivot points, you got a little bit higher, more like 260, and that would clear that former high, which is right over here. When you have a high, you need a higher high to create an uptrend. Well, we just don't have a higher high just quite yet. We did get a higher low. Here was our first low and our higher low we talked about the last time I was on here, right? Basic trend identification. Yeah, there it is. Higher low. Great. Now give me a higher high. Excellent if we get that. $3 I think is a good barrier to look for. And that's a decent return. That's what, like 17%, 30%. Holy crap. Yeah, see, there you go. That's another 30% up. Now, could it come back a little bit before then? Yeah. But if you're to buy now and sell it at $3, you get 30%. That isn't bad, right? Good luck finding a single equity on the regular traditional trade markets where you can get 30% in a couple months. Doesn't exist.
Right.
Unless you do an option, right?
Yep. So can you tell us, because I think there's 2 parts to TA. There's like the TA part, but then, so how do you apply the TA to actually make some money? So like, again, not financial advice. We understand that nothing you say is financial advice. You're not saying, hey, go buy and go sell at this price. But how would you look at a chart like this, and what would you do with something like this? Would you see it as let's buy now and let's get that try to get that 30%, or how would you do this?
Right. So as long as we know what the cycle is, and when I say what the cycle is, crypto is fairly predictable, and I've been preaching this for a while. It's really, really hard to get people to listen to me about it, but we have very, very simple cycles in crypto. We have a 1.5-year bull market followed by a solid mega ugly year. All right. We've already done that. And then we get about 6 to 8 months of up, a little bit of sideways and down, and another 1.5 years up. This is a 4-year cycle, and it's because Bitcoin is still the king of the castle. As long as it's king of the castle, then we have to keep going by this. All right. And I don't expect that to change anytime soon. All right. So as long as we know Bitcoin halving comes up in April, we typically have a peak before halving in the summer before halving. Hey, guess what we have coming up? The summer before halving. All right. We kind of saw this coming, and we've been within about a week or a week and a half of being able to call the perfect top and the perfect bottom. I really thought we were going to get 13,000, and that's why I didn't buy the 15,000 level. I thought that would come down just a little bit more, and that's me being a little bit greedy, right? So as long as I know this is going to go up, I'm not going to panic too much about buying it and losing some of my profits off the top. It will take a little longer for me to get my money, sure. But we had the perfect, quote unquote, perfect buy back here. When this little miniature downtrend right here broke in, what date is that? 3 days ago. That was the perfect buy. Once your trend broke right there, and you could apply this to a 6-month chart. I don't really care what it is. It broke trend right here. That was the perfect buy. And a lot of times what I tell people is whenever you make a buy, because you get it, you see the trend break, and you say, here we go, I'm in it. Please set a stop loss or a sell limit. And whatever you're comfortable with losing should be your sell limit. Okay. If you're comfortable with losing $3, whatever that is, set that sell limit. The more money you make, I'm going to tell you, the more comfortable you're going to get losing money, because that's part of the game. From here, once you buy, I want someone to take this very, very perfectly to heart here. Once you buy, every day that the chart goes up, move your stop loss up. If you get a buy and it goes up 3%, don't argue with yourself. Move your stop loss up 3%. Hey, guess what? You're not going to lose as much money if it fails. Then it goes up 7%. Move your stop loss up 7%. Hey, guess what? You're guaranteed to win now. You can't lose now. So great. Now just look for the next place where it's going to stop. And now that we have this very sharp little uptrend right here, we can kind of draw a little sharper trend line. And maybe if this little sharp trend line, that's not really a trend line, but maybe if that little sharp trend line fails, that's where I start going, all right, look, I did pretty well here already. Maybe I'll take a little bit off the table. It's really nice having profits, especially if you've never taken any. You'll get really, really addicted real quick. The bull run vibes are a great thing, right? Right now, people are getting a lot of bull run vibes. This ain't the bull run. Sorry, y'all. It just ain't yet. We'll get there. And anyone who's still hanging out and watching, I'm super happy for, because you kind of made it, right? I think we'll get one more low before the end of the year. And I don't mean a monstrosity of a low. I mean, not a high. All right. So once we peak out in the summer, we're probably going to get another low in the fall. I think that's when the perfect last chance buy is going to come, so to speak. And then from there, everyone who said I'm just a trader is going to learn how much I'm going to hodl. All right. You're going to learn real quick when you see me buy render in October or November, and I don't sell it until gosh knows when, right? So as long as it's trending up and it's in a bull market, I'm going to sit back and watch it go up. I'm not going to freak out and run away, right? You'll see me do a lot of that. I'm going to probably concentrate more on bigger altcoins at first, because there's a bit of a cycle. Yeah. Bitcoin, Ethereum, mid cap alts, low cap alts, crappers. All right. And they kind of go in that order. And whatever you want to consider your coin, you can consider your coin, but by the market cap, if your coin is under a certain level, it's a crapper. I don't care whether you love it or not, right? So once those time comes and they all start to move up, hey man, you can probably pull some money out of those uppers and put it in them lowers and ride them. And then by God, take your profit. Yeah, here you go. Take your profits. Because if you don't take your profits, I promise you somebody like me or myself will take them for you. And I don't want that to happen. I want you to take profits with me.
Amen. Amen. No, I love that. That's super educational, super helpful. We've got some requests from the audience on just different things that they'd like you to take a quick look at, if that's all right with you.
Sure.
Not many talk about Polkadot anymore. What's up with
right
Dot?
It's just been in a mega downtrend and it hasn't really performed very well. This is one of them on my list that I'm going to buy when the bull market comes back. So interestingly enough, really odd kind of diamondback pattern going around here doing much of nothing. I'm going to erase these lines because it looks a little bit confusing, but essentially you broke the trend line back here, same time, January 14th, made a nice run up. Then the music kind of stopped right about in here. Once that music stopped, it never really got loud again. All right. It came back on, but it didn't really get loud. And now that it's failed, we have a clear cut downtrend. And so long as this downtrend maintains, which is what we've got right now, let me erase some of these lines a little easier to see. And, you know, I was looking at some of these last night and I might have missed this one, but this one almost looks like it could have broken out recently. You see that? Sticking its head over the trend line. Very nice. So whenever I see one, this is a great example here. This one actually, take it back, has kind of broken its trend. Now I look for a place to buy. Do I want to buy this trend break, or do I think it's going to sit here and flutter around? This is a great chance to pull up the 8 and the 21 EMA. And here you go. I'll take some of these lines off. 8 and 21 EMA is very simple to use. 2 candles closed in a row over the 8 EMA is a go sign. 2 candles closed under the purple line, the 21 EMA, is a no sign. And right now we still don't have that 2 closes over the 8 EMA in a row. We only had one here, and the very next candle, right back under. And now it's struggle busing to get over. Honestly, I kind of see Bitcoin fading here a little bit toward 25,000. I have a crap ton of orders set around 25 and a half-ish area. And that's where I'll be buying. If that happens, it's likely going to drag everything down with it. You know how Bitcoin does it. So if it drags everything down, I'm going to wait to buy these alts because they're just, unfortunately, they're just a slave to the master. I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I don't care. I'm not a particular lover of any asset except gains. So I'm riding what's going up, and then I'll get out when it's going down. And Dot's got a decent look at the moment, but it's just not quite ready. It's too risky for me. Even though it broke trend, I need to see it do a little bit more before I would commit to putting my own money in.
Yep. Nope. Totally got you. Cool. No, that's super helpful. I love just hearing your insights. And again, because you look at things a lot differently than I do. I'm more like look at the community, look at the leaders, and you're just pure data. And I think like it's just very helpful to have that perspective.
Yeah, a lot of people see that's where I started. What you just mentioned is where I started. I used to do the same thing. I did a lot of, oh man, let's see what the people are saying. What I've learned is everybody's always bullish about everything.
Yeah.
So they become not useless. That's not the right word, but not a great reliable source of information. Then the leaders, well, they're never going to tell you to not buy their product. Of course, buy my product. That's what any salesman of any company or any CEO would do, right? Is there ever a day where Brad Garlic Bread is going to say, no, don't buy Ripple? Of course not. He's always going to, and his name's not really Garlic Bread, but it's funny to say. So of course he's going to want you to buy XRP every day. It's the way his business makes money. Please buy more. Yeah. Well, of course, Vitalik wants you to get Ethereum. Of course, he's never going to say anything bad about Ethereum. So that's where as long as I know they're real people, real businessmen, and they're not involved with shady characters or have shady setups, then I'm cool with it. Right? I'm cool with it. And when I start to see shady characters, shady setups, I start tracking IP addresses, and I see that you're located on a cloud server that's from Latvia or something like that. I'm like, okay, a little much here. I'm not going to fall for this one, right? So Dot's not one of those. Dot has a humongous ecosystem.
Yeah, nope, totally agree. So let's see, we've got VaporFi, Ethereum, DAG, XRP. That's kind of what people are asking about. I don't know if you want to take a quick look at VaporFi. That's kind of an older node project that's been bearish for quite a while, but it'd be cool to see if you
is it just Vapor.
VPND,
is that it?
Yeah, VPND. Yep.
VPND. Let me find the most liquidity. Okay, here we go. Here's another thing. When you're looking for a chart, you need to find the one that's got the highest volume, highest liquidity, oldest chart. The reason I say that is a lot of times if you get a chart that's only got a couple, 2 or 3 candles on it, well, you immediately say, that doesn't make sense. That's not any good. And I don't want that to be the case, right? I want you to find one with as much data as possible. And this one goes back quite a ways. It's still showing trade in view. Let me see if I can flip this to a different one here. Share screen and VPND. There we go. All right, so here we go. Yeah, this one's still, if you look here, has not created a higher high. It's all lower highs, lower high, lower high, lower high, and it's still trending down. So long as this is still trending down, I will not look to hurry up and buy anything. Now, there is a case to be made for buying the bottom. Well, how do you know where the bottom is, right? That's the never-ending question. This thing could fall to eternity, yeah? So since it could fall to eternity until it goes to zero, where's the lowest price where I see some candles form up to create a support level? And that's right down here. Right about here, there's some candles all clumped up. That would be a support level. There's a couple clumped up right here. So if I see these candles bounce off of this area or this area, it might be worth a shot at putting some throwaway money into something like this. You do not throw a ton of money into anything that looks this bad. It's just the way it is. If it improves and breaks trend, hey, whatever. I don't really care about the ecosystem and stuff like that. If the chart's trending up, it's trending up. And I know what people are going to say, but what if they pull the rug out from you? I get it. Just a chance you're taking if you're going to step off into DeFi, okay? That's the chance you're taking. So know that before you ever throw your rod in the water that you may end up hooking something you didn't want to catch. All right?
Right. It's hard for TA to catch a rug pull.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's why I spent a lot of time last bull market. Whenever someone would come up with a new project, we would dig into it. I had my guys cut into it, right? Let me see real quick. And then, about that one I sent you on Twitter, I said, hey man, look at this. This one's got this and this and this and this. This looks super shady. Look at this guy. This guy seems to be lying, right? I can catch up on that stuff pretty quick. We've got a team of guys looking into that kind of stuff. It's not only TA. We just don't publicly talk about the fundamentals. There's a million people doing that, right?
Right.
And there's so many people doing it. It's such an oversaturated thing that I'm never going to be able to get you to listen to my fundamentals compared to their fundamentals. I mean, you know what it is, what it is. So the chart, however, that's undeniable. So until this improves, I'm not going to buy this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy it anyway, but I wouldn't buy this if this improved. I mean, I know the deal, right? I know what this is, and I don't want to mess with it. So this is on my scam list in the Discord. So I'm definitely not going to.
Good to know.
If I tell everybody everything I buy, which is what I do, right? Then I got to tell you I bought a scam, and I'm going against everything I ever said, right? And if I'm going to be a man of my word, I've got to be a man of my word, right?
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that about you. You have high integrity. I've seen it on many occasions.
I'm not perfect, and for the record, I've probably said some things about people along the way that I shouldn't have said, and I fully apologize for that. If I ever said anything bad about you that I shouldn't have said, I apologize. I'm trying my best to become a better person every day, and that's not simple for me. I come from a really crappy place. All right. So where I come from is how everybody treats you. All right. The same way I come off sometimes is just how I grew up. And even though I'm about to turn 40, it doesn't matter, man. That's what stuck with me for life. So I got to improve on it. And I wish I just knew how to do that automatically, but I don't. So I try every day to be a little bit better, man. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And I can't be perfect, but I try to be a little bit more perfect every day.
Hey, amen. That's what we do. So it's a growth process. It's a learning process.
100%.
And we're all going to make mistakes along the way. I've made my share of mistakes, and some people attack you for it, but you just cling to those people that are willing to walk the journey with you and willing to, okay, you made a mistake. I'm here to, pick you up, and let's just keep walking together. We have the same exact goals. So there's no reason to, come at each other. So,
you said DAG, correct?
Next, actually, Keith, I loved your Bitcoin cycle explanation video. Big thanks for that. I would like to ask you, when do you think Ethereum will hit the absolute lowest point before the bull run? So that infamous, where's the bottom question?
No, that's a good question. So this is going to look confusing, and I'm sorry, but I've only recently started screwing around with more Fibonacci time zones, and Fibonacci time zones are basically, instead of being the vertical up and down numbers, it's the horizontal left to right numbers. All right. So this will look a little confusing at first, but I want you to bear with me. I'm going to pull up the Ethereum CME chart, and what CME is Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Essentially, CME allows two cryptos to be traded publicly in a futures in Chicago. That's Bitcoin and Ethereum only. All right. So these are about the only two that I say are going to be around forever. Why is that? Because they're the only two that are recognized so far. That could change. So the CME chart, it closes on the weekends, and we know crypto doesn't stop, but this chart closes on the weekends. So I use it because it's a little smoother and a little bit more consistent. All right. It takes away some of the herky jerky nature that is crypto. So Fibonacci time zones work similar to regular style Fibonacci retracement, only it's left to right instead of up down. So I'm going to grab the highest point of Ethereum here and pull down to the lowest point, and I'm going to use that dashed line right there as my trend line, and I'm just going to get kind of close to what I think is roughly there. These red lines are our end of the cycle lines. We're currently in an up cycle, and this will end pretty soon, right around June or July, it says. That's around the end of June, beginning of July, the one line. It's hard to see right here, but it says number one. If you look, these are Fibonacci lines, 236, 382, 50, 618, 786. Those are mathematical certainties, by the way. Nothing I can do or you can do to stop them. This zero line should be around where the trend shifts. And then here's our take profit lines, or this is where our buy-in lines will be. So somewhere around October, November, December is the low point. And we have halvening coming up in between the two red lines right here. So late fall, early winter to midwinter looks like that might be the low point, but that's not a guarantee. There are two separate different chances here. If we get 2015 to 2016, oh my gosh, that's going to be amazing because it didn't fall as far. But if we get 2019 to 2020, hey, everybody, better have your tissues out because it's going to be hurtful. All right. We have two possibilities, and I can't be for sure on which one it's going to be. I can get close. All right. I can tell you about when those times will be. Late winter, that's probably your last chance to get in before we have a run up. And then in the spring, right before halving, we're going to find out if we get punched in the face or not. And I'll be watching very closely when that happens. And honestly, I think that low for Ethereum will probably come in. Now you're going to see a GAN box form when I start doing this here. That's the wrong one. Let me grab regular Fibonacci retracement. You'll see a grid form here, and that grid is a GAN box. And GAN was a mathematician, everybody. Argue with me all you want. That's fine, but I'm not arguing with the mathematician because I'm an idiot. So this ends off in roughly September, late September, early October. So that October to December window, I think, is our low point. And it's got a possibility of around 1,200 to 1,000. That would be like really, really low for Ethereum. If it breaks that, way lower. But that's the first level I would try to take a chance I've already made my mind up for that for myself, right? Right here in this area, anywhere down, I'll draw a rectangle here so it's a little easier to see here. Anywhere in this rectangle is where I'm looking to buy Ethereum, and I'm going to ride this up the entire bull market. I've already made up my mind that I'm actually going to take Ethereum, buy it, send it over to a DeFi, take a loan out with it, and then have more capital to trade with. Why? Because we know it's a bull market. We know Ethereum is going to go up. So I'm not at any risk to lose a ton of money on it, so long as that DeFi space doesn't close. And I'm going to use like Aave or Lend or whatever. And I'm gonna use one of those big high cap DeFi projects. Take a loan out, buy some extra Ethereum with it, double my money, and I'll ride this up until it's done.
Okay, very good. Sounds like a plan. Now I like that. You wait for the bull market, then use it as collateral so you can have more money to trade with. And like you said, you're not too worried about liquidation because you're in a bull market. And we've seen what happens to Ethereum in bull markets. And
absolutely,
if you're just going to be holding it, you might as well. People will say, "Oh, you can go stake it on Binance for 4% or something like that," but you'll make more collateralizing it. Yeah, and then,
I mean, if you want to stake for 4%, if that's fair. 4% is better than 0. No problem.
True.
I get it. You know what I mean? But for me in a bull market, I'm going to spread my elbows out a little bit and I'm going to take more chances because it's a bull market. You can do that. Now, when we get toward the end of the bull market, conservative Keith is going to come out and that's going to hurt people's feelings. Right. But honestly, it's going to be time to take less chances when I start to see the Titanic lean over a little bit. Okay, it's time to abandon ship. That's all there is to it. I'm not going to sit there and watch. I'm not going to go down with the ship. I'm not going to. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. Nope. Good strategy. Jared says, I was told there would be DAG analysis. So that's always a popular one.
Got it pulled up now. So I've made a couple videos about DAG. I think there's a good chance that DAG does pretty darn well. As you see, many assets that I just showed you, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Render, all of them have broken their downtrend. DAG has not. It's just sitting here like a knot on a log, as we say in the South. Hasn't done anything yet. So it continues to break lows and make new lower lows. Like we've explained before, every lower low, there's a low and a lower low and a lower low and a lower low. Until I get some higher lows in here, this is a big old, it's going to be a no from me, big dog Randy Jackson style. I need to see this break trend. Now, I've already bought and sold DAG a couple times because it looked like it was going to come off the bottom here and immediately halted itself and stopped. So where are levels that I think are important for it to hold? So Fibonacci retracement works just as well for DAG as it does for every asset. It's irrelevant to me how many contracts they have or don't have. They're a real thing. As long as they're a real thing, I'm cool with it. All right. So we know they're a real thing. All right. It's not a half. It's not a question. It's a real thing. So this 3-cent level is very important. It's this never really broken this 3-cent level for any significant amount of time since the last bull market. All right. So if it breaks 3 cents, that's really bad, but it needs to stay under there for a significant period of time. The next level down after 3 cents is 2.5. It looks like 3 cents is a lock. 3 cents flat is a lock to come back to now. From there, if it breaks downward 2.5 cents, just like I thought would happen way back, all the way back in August of 22, or whenever it was, August of 21, or I can't remember the date, but we said 2.5 cent DAG on a live stream, and I got ripped apart for that.
Yep.
But here we are right around it now. So it's not because I wanted that to happen. That's not the case. I wanted it to stay up there. If I did a live stream and said, when this thing was at the top in September of 21, and I come out and said, hey, look, I like this project. It's just too expensive. The $70,000 for a node. I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I don't have that kind of money. I'm poor. So I can't do that. That took every investment extra dollar that I had. I don't want to do that. So as things come all the way down, I think nodes are like $7,000 or $8,000 now. That's a huge difference, everybody. That's a massive difference. So I don't hate taking chances down here because the difference between 3 cent and 2.5 cent isn't enormous. However, I don't like to just buy stuff and lose money. I'm going to wait for it to settle out here and break trend, and then I'm in, right? I have no problem buying back into this. I really don't. I made videos on it because I think it can get up toward 22 cent again. That's the yellow box that I have drawn right here. By the time cycles, anywhere in this yellow box, which is from July 24 to December 24, should be, cyclically speaking, the top for DAG. Now that could change, and I'm happy if it does. Once this thing is in an uptrend, you see me draw uptrend lines. Once it's in an uptrend, I'm cool with it as long as it stays in that uptrend. As soon as it fails, I'm going to tell you, and it's going to hurt people's feelings, but I'm not going to lie to you either. You might hate me short term for saying it looks bad, but in the long term, I don't beg for respect because that's not the way you get respect. But you'll respect me saying, hey man, the music's stopping. Whether you listen or not, you'll respect me saying the music's stopping, right? That happens a lot. I'm not asking for your respect or anything like that because you'll never get respect if you ask for it. Respect is earned. So, I'm happy to call it out when it happens. When I see this thing roll over and play dead, I'm going to let you know. But it hasn't gotten to the point of me even say, yes, let's rock and roll yet. I've already bought and sold it 2 or 3 times in the last couple months. Weeks, probably. Weeks.
Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense. And I remember, you kind of getting some hate for that 2.5 cent call on DAG, but I mean, here we are. So
I believe it was called the 2.5 cent club after I said that.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are we doing this? This is stupid. We shouldn't be doing this. We should just be buying the bottom. But I also have 2 red lines drawn right there. Those are resistance lines. Those lines will be hard to break. That's roughly 6 cent and roughly 13.5 cent. All right. Those barriers will play hardball on the way up. It will go up back up eventually. It's going to play hardball on the way back up though.
Okay. Nope. Good to hear. Let's see. We got several requests. What do you think about XRP? So that's all. You knew that one was coming, right?
Perfect. No problem at all. Let's rock and roll here. XRP is one of the more predictable cryptos in the entire crypto space. And why do I say that? It's actually the chart that I use to teach with. It's extremely technical. It's almost down to the fraction correct every single time. It blows people's minds when you do it in their face, right? And you say, hey man, look right here. I can show you how much, when the time to sell. Yeah, but you wouldn't have done it. But I just did it last bull market, right? So I'm going to do it again. This thing hasn't broken its big downtrend yet. Right here we are. Big downtrend, just like DAG. Just showed you that on DAG. Same thing for XRP here. It hasn't cracked yet. This is a weekly chart, high time frame, weekly chart. I'll go down to daily. You can kind of see here. She's fluttering around like it wants to get to this trend line, and it's probably where it's going to slow down. I've got 60 cents as a hard cap here for 2023 because this looks almost to the letter like it did back in 2019. And I'll show you right here. All right. I'm going to give you a little comparison here. And I don't particularly care for fractals because I lost a lot of money back when I first started crypto doing fractals. But I think there are some weights along the support resistance and trends are respected. So we had this big down back in the day. We had a big down back in the day. We had a sharp little up. We have a sharp little up. All right. This peak right here was very interesting. This is October 18, 19. Something like this, October 18, 19. Then we go flat after we fall, right? We kind of fall. Then we go flat. Then we get to this May, June, July area of 19. May, June, July area of 19. Roughly the same area after we went flat, right? Whatever. So it kind of is going along the same tone here. Also, there's a certain amount of days that we need for this thing to click off before it gets close to halving. This thing capped out at a certain Fibonacci level right here, and this thing capped out at a certain Fibonacci level right here, almost identically. So I like 60 cents to be the 2023 high max, and it may be less than that. If it doesn't break trend, then we're going to get a really, really hard fade here. And I don't want that to happen. But this thing could come way back down to a quarter. If I see XRP at a quarter, I'm going to buy it. I don't listen for people who say I'm a hater. Did you just hear what I said? If I see XRP hit a quarter, I'm going to buy it. And I'm not going to buy $1 worth. I'll buy a lot. Okay. Because I know that there's good value in that. And also, we're going to run out of time. We have halving coming up. We're going to run out of time for this thing to fall. All right. Once we're out of time, halving happens and we got a bull market. We should see this thing crack trend over here, in my opinion, toward October or November. We should see this thing crack trend and bounce on top of it. All right. This is what's happened the previous 2 bull cycles for XRP. And I'll show you here. Previous bear market. See how it broke trend just right here and danced around on top of the trend line? Same thing. Then we go back to all the way back in the day before anybody ever heard of crypto. The only thing you heard about was on movies. Same thing. Bounce on top of the trend line, thinking about it, and then it went off, right? We'll have the same thing happen again this time. I'm to expect this to act just like it did before. All right. You're going to get plenty of time to buy this. I believe this will run shortly after Bitcoin takes off. Why? Because that's the way the cycle works. It's the way it worked last time. I expect it to do the same thing again. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it to happen. I'm not a hater. I just don't hodl anything. Crypto is not stocks and indices, right? Stocks, they've been in a 100-year bull market, and crypto does not do that. It has 4-year cycles. Every 4 years, crypto loses about 80 to 90% of its value. Why in the world would I buy a property and lose 80 or 90% of value and be okay with that? Or a car and lose 80, 90% of value on it? I don't want to do that. No one would want to do that. So I apply that same logic to any asset that I'm investing in.
Okay. No, I like that. I think there's a lot of wisdom, a lot of things that a lot of people in crypto could take lessons from. Especially, yeah, if saying the price of something is going down does not make you a hater. It's just following the data. And it's
I
just,
wish it did. Yeah.
yeah. It's like, I don't want Ripple to go down. I say that all the time. There's projects that I think, hey, the price is going to go down. It doesn't mean I want it to go down.
Yeah.
I think that the project's terrible. It's just when I look at the data, it seems to me the price is going to go down.
And I would agree. I want everybody to win. I want everybody to win. I want everybody to win with me. Let's do it. I'm not trying to be a hater. It's not the way it goes. Prices. I didn't mention this. You'll notice a lot of time I don't mention prices because prices are semi-irrelevant to me. All I care about is the spot on the chart. I think this cleanly gets back to 75 cents. Cleanly gets back to 75 cents. At $1.30, $1.60, that's going to be an interesting spot because that's been a failure spot previous cycles. If we crack through that, upper level targets $3, $4, $6. But that's a long shot. Do you hear me? That's a long shot. I hope it happens. I really, really do. As long as we have an uptrend, I'm here for you, folks, and I'll be on your team, and I'll be rooting for it just as hard as you will. I promise I'll be on your team. However, when I see when the music stops, I'm leaving the ball field. All right. I'm leaving the ball field, and you can be stuck holding the bag. I don't want that to happen. All right. I want you to get paid just like I'm gonna get paid.
Okay, very good. No, that makes a lot of sense. And Green Llama says, how many global banks are partnering with XRP? And I just want to kind of emphasize that that's a different way of looking at coins than what Keith does. So Keith isn't looking at the news and saying, oh, he's just looking at the charts. And so that's probably irrelevant to you, right, Keith? You don't care about how many.
As long as they have one, that's good enough for me. If they have one or 9,000, it's not that I care less. If they have one, then they're legitimate and I'm cool with it. That's all I need to know. Beyond that, everything else is filling your body with hopium. Oh my God, another bank. Oh my God, another bank. Okay, we get it. Now what? The price hasn't moved though. So at what point does the same thing that makes everything bullish get relatable to the same thing that makes everything that's bearish? You can't just have one side of that. Everything can't always be bullish. If that was the case, it would never lose value. But it does. It loses 90% of the value every time the cycle's over. So we have to own that. All right. I'm not a hater. I'm cool with it. I think they have a place. I really do. I think all ISO coins have a place. I think they're probably a little overhyped. compared to what people think. And that's a lot of, I learned this the hard way, everybody. Since I am one now, I'll tell you straight up that influencers buy stuff at the top, and they influence you to buy it so that the price goes back up because they bought the top. And when they buy the top, when they buy some influencers, they buy the top. I know this because it happened to me, and I'll tell you a quick short story. I got into XRP first as the first crypto I ever bought. September 2018. I bought, the price was 28 cents. The price then dropped to 11 cents later that year, right? Or 2019, it dropped to 11 cents, 10 cents later that year. But the guy who I was watching, who was telling me that this price was going to be super high, he bought at $3. He bought at $2.90, $2.75, $2.80, $2.75, $1.50, 90 cents, 80 cents. Of course, he needs me to buy. He needs me to hear this ultra bullish stuff because he wants me to buy so I can get him back in the green. To this day, he's still not in the green. To this day, it's been 5 years. He's still not in the green. How long does all this bullish news got to keep happening before it actually goes up? Yep. And the answer is they're not relatable. They're separate. Now, just the other day, we had this stuff come out about the court case, right? Good thing I put out multiple tweets about XRP before that happened saying, hey, you got a good buy here. Like I put that on Twitter 3 or 4 times. Like, hey, man, this is a good spot right here, this green box. Then those things come out about the case not being sealed, and up we go, right? Well, hey, man, I already told you, right? We already saw it coming. That's the beauty of TA. I love the fact that they're actually being used by stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm here for that. I want to see real world adoption. Please, yes. But that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. And before you get really bullish on it, you're going to want to see some indicators that, hey, this is going up. You're not willing to just trade the news, which is what a lot of people do. They trade the news and then it never does anything to the chart, to your point. And what you'd like to see is, hey, there is news. XRP is doing some cool stuff, but we need to see some indicators on the chart before we're going to start buying into it.
Essentially, when you buy the news, you're Jim Cramer in it. All right. And I'm never going to Jim Cramer it. That's all there is to it. I'm never going to go, oh man, I'm super bullish on this. And then the price goes down 30%. And everybody goes, see, it's Jim Cramer. Just do the inverse Cramer, right? There's a reason there's an inverse Cramer ETF. That's not a joke, right? That really exists. So people literally bet against him every time he says something based on news. It never works. However, people watch him, so he's actually winning.
Yep. Nope, totally agree. Can I ask, what are you excited about right now? What are some coins that you're looking at that are, oh man, I'm excited about this one?
So I've actually met with some of the Arbitrum guys in person, which is pretty cool. That was the first developers that I ever met in person, which I thought was dope.
Oh,
just one, but I thought, wow, this is cool. I'm sitting across the way from somebody. Really cool dude. Asked some questions and I got some answers that I didn't think I would get. Anything on Arbitrum for the bull market is going to be stupid nuts. All right. They're going to have a ton of money going that thing. And that's not because I have any stake in it. Hey, everybody, I've never been paid a single dollar from any company, not a single dollar. That's just the way it goes. I've turned that down every single day. And I know you get the same DMs I get, the same things constantly every single day. Not going to do it. I just think it's a cool thing. It's a layer 2 on top of Ethereum, just like AVAX was, just like FTM was. Those were layer 2s. Hey, look what that did last bull market. Arbitrum is fresh and new, just launched. All right. Everything on Arbitrum plus Arbitrum is going to have stupid, crazy bull markets. And I'm not saying just buy all of them because it's not a bull market yet. When the bull market comes around, you're going to see those pop off really fast. And they're going to go very far. Other ones I like are like Injective Protocol for the bull market. That I missed that when I was doing those videos. I think DAG will do well. CRV, Algorand, HBAR, those are ISO coins, right? AVAX should do well. Will it have the same bull market last time? Man, that's tough. Well, it's probably going to do well though. FTM will do well. Link has had a horrible bear market, and even now it's done nothing. It should do well. There's a ton of them that are going to do well. I'm not a dog coin fan. Dog coins should do well. Meme coins. Everybody loves to talk about those lately. In the bull market, If you want to throw, I'm going to lose it money at it, fine. Please don't do any more than I'm going to lose it money. Because then if you lose it, you're not upset. All right. Manage your risks carefully. You're going to see a bunch of meme coins get thrown around in the actual bull market. Pepe, baby Pepe, or whatever. I don't know. Baby Mong. You'll see stuff come around that's going to happen, and manage that risk appropriately. Everyone got super caught up in the node season, right? By not managing that risk properly. Right. It's okay to put $100 if you've got 10,000. It's okay to put $10,000 if you've got 1 million. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean because I've got 11,000 and James has 6 million that I should put all 10,000 of my extra dollars into what he did. That's a horrible idea, everybody. We're just dudes on the internet. You shouldn't really do anything we say. You should watch it and take the own information into your own hands and say, I think they're full of crap, so I'm not going to do that. Or they make a good point, but I would appreciate constructive criticism. I don't expect you to just follow me in droves. That's not cool, in my opinion. I'm not a follower, and I wouldn't want you to be a follower.
Yeah, amen. Nope, totally with you on that. We're just guys on the internet. Your friend Andy always says it too. It's like, hey, we're just guys on the internet, on YouTube. Don't do what we say, but take what we say, and you can take that information and you can put it into the stew of your knowledge bank, and then you can make decisions that are right for you. That's what I would recommend. So, well, hey, this has been super helpful. Every time I talk with you, I learn a lot, and it's just, again, just a very different way of thinking than a lot of people. And so I just appreciate that, and adding that to my tool belt of crypto tools. So appreciate that. Can you tell us a little bit about your community? What do you do in there? Let me pull up. This is the website that you gave for me, but what is in the community? What do you do there? And tell us a little bit about it.
All right. So 786 Assassins started pre-bull market last time. Like I said, the influencer kind of told me that there was one captain on that boat and I needed to just shut up and be quiet. And I didn't like that. I didn't like having my voice taken away. I thought that was uncool. We had kind of built a friendship, I thought. And then just in the snap of a finger, because I disagreed with them, I was booted, right? Wasn't cool with that. So we started a more inclusive company, a more inclusive group where anyone can come and learn. I don't care. If you don't like me, it's fine. But we do TA mostly. All right. We have tons of different chart sections, tons of different chats, TA based. Just yesterday, we did free TA lessons for everyone in the Discord. I'm going to do those every 2 weeks in there, by the way. The link has James' name on it right there. If you do it, you get 2 free months from when you sign up. And if you don't want to pay nothing, you don't pay nothing. You can leave right after that. If you can leave before that if you want. The Discord also has a general access where you can just be in there to ask questions in the general chat. Now, I spend all my time in the paid section, honestly. We have hundreds and hundreds of messages a day. I'm told there's overwhelming amount of information, right? And I get that, but anyone can always just directly ask me and then I'll help them. I try to answer every single message possible. The reason we started this community was 2 parts. Number one, we wanted to teach. So it'll always be a teaching-based Discord. There's always a place to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, you do not get answers. All right. So you're never going to be told not to ask something. We're going to teach no matter what. Teach the more accurate and the safer way to do things. There's plenty of degenerates out there in the world, and you're just not going to see me do that. So I want to show you how to do a skill for the rest of your life. You don't have to go down a rabbit hole. 5 to 15, 20 minutes a day is all you really need to put into this. And then if your free access runs out, it'll only be $10 a month. It's not like I'm asking you for $1 million. That's not how it works. I don't make a ton of money off of Discord, everybody. After fees and taxes and everything else, you don't make a lot of money. That's just in. But we want to bring the community together. I want, like when I got with James and told him about this, I've got with multiple other influencers as well, like Dagnum, Miss Nifty Phoebe, Crypto Sensei, Rob, right? We had our differences, big differences. Yeah. But we talked like men and got together and made a deal. Right. So, there was probably no bigger person that I didn't want to be associated with than him. But man to man, we talked it out and worked it out because that's what men do. And that's what we should do anyway, right? I'm man enough to know I made mistakes, and I think he is too. And we talked about that and we're trying to fix it. Yeah. So I want to bring as many influencers, as many people over to our Discord possible. And if you never pay a dime, that's fine. but at least I gave you information that you can use for the rest of your life. This matters, man. This matters. Whether you get it from me or whether or not you even use it. If you get the information, you're so much better off. And I want that to happen. Also, we're on YouTube. Obviously, TA with Keith Lay is the YouTube channel. I'm on Twitter and crap, Carolina Keith _1 on Twitter. Everything you see on Twitter or YouTube was talked about in our Discord first. All right. Everything comes in our Discord first. If I didn't have such cool people in there, I would miss things. And I don't want to miss things. I don't like missing. I'm super competitive and I don't like missing. I don't like striking out. Okay. So, you're going to strike out sometimes, and that's okay, but I don't want to keep striking out over and over and over again. That ticks me off. So, my ADD doesn't like that. So,
yeah, no. And what I would recommend to people, if you get into something like this and you feel overwhelmed by all the information, is just start with something small. So just say, okay, I'm going to learn just a little bit. Don't feel like, oh, I need to go consume everything that's in there. Again, you get 60 days for free. So it's not like you need to, and then it's only $10 a month. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to be missing out if I don't get every little piece of information and every call, if I don't buy every coin that, is in buying range right now. Just start little by little and make a goal. Okay, once every day, I'm going to learn one new thing or something like that.
Yeah. Once a week, whatever.
Once a week, once a month. Maybe.
We have free instructional videos in there. We have an entire repertoire of free educational material from people all over the globe, all over the internet, who have different ways of learning. The way I learned is in there for free. That was $5,000. All right. And it's free in our Discord. Right. So, we just want people to learn. We want people to grow and get better at this. I don't need 30,000 people telling me to be a degenerate and buy monster nodes. Right. Here's a monster I'm drinking. Right. I don't need that. What we need is to know when to sell it and when to buy it and when's the right time and when's the wrong time. Right. That's what we do. That's what we specialize in. Obviously, there's fundamentals going on. We just don't talk about it a lot. We do have a couple fundamental channels open now, though, so people can talk about it, and I'm cool with that too. It's just not my specialty, right? My specialty is the chart and finding the right time to buy and sell.
Okay. And I want to address this. A hater in the chat, and I just want to bring it up because it bothers me. Okay. So, Keith, you don't need to. I
can't even see it. So,
okay. He says, you can get all this information training for free. Why would you pay this dude? And the reason is because it's organized for you. If you don't think that your time is worth $10 a month for someone else to organize it for you and put it together for you, then you have very low value on your time. Okay. Having somebody that has organized all this for you is well worth it's $10 a month. I mean, if it was $1,000 a month, then yeah, okay, maybe it'd be worth, let's go get the free info ourselves. But I don't know. This comment bothers me. Sorry,
it's cool.
Kyle,
I would say this. I'm not mad at you at all, Kyle. You're right. I do it for free all the time. Everything that I just mentioned is free. In the Discord, it's free. You get that free. You don't have to pay anything. And I like the fact that you said this dude. That's exactly right. I'm just a guy. I wouldn't expect you to trust me. All right. I do this every Thursday for free on YouTube live. You can ask me anything and be a hater all you want. It's fine. I don't mind. I've also learned this. People on the internet don't hurt my feelings. It's taken a few years for me to learn that.
Yeah, that's a good skill.
My information is public. All right. I'm a public. You can Google me and find out where I live. And I don't mind that because it's South Carolina and there are rules in South Carolina. Okay. So I'm not worried. You can talk to me in person. I don't mind. You can text me and message me and talk to me. I don't mind that. And I can help you do this for free. I don't mind helping people for free. All the videos that I showed you last time we did this too, by the way, that was free information. They're in the Discord, already done for you. All you got to do is click on them and watch.
Okay. Love it. Well, hey, audience, thank you guys. We'll go ahead and wrap up there. Audience, appreciate you guys very much. Please hit like on the way out. Again, thank you for watching. Again, the only reason I can have a community is because you choose to be part of the community. So appreciate you guys very much. And Keith, great to have you back. Again, we'll have to make sure I think it's been maybe 3 months since our last time. I'd like to do this once a month or whatever. So
listen, you've got my number. Message me anytime, dude. I barely sleep. Thanks a lot, ADD. So I'm usually up all hours of the night. Just message me anytime. I'll work it out. And I like what you said right there. I say this after every live stream. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and I appreciate that. That's Notorious B.I.G., right? Sky's the limit. So I like what you said there.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, appreciate it. And I wish everyone the best. Good luck with your trading, your TA, and everything that you're doing, all your endeavors. So thanks you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.